Instant reaction to the Colts versus the Texans. The Texans win 29-27. I'm a Colts fan if you guys didn't already know. So here's my instant and honest reaction on both sides of the ball. Before we get into it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's go over my notes and talk about this game. First thing we have to address is Joe Mixon and the Colts run defense. This run defense might be the worst run defense I've seen by the Colts ever. I don't think I've ever seen a run defense this bad by the Colts in week one. Joe Mixon almost had a career high in yards. He had 157, I believe. Absolutely insane. Colts run defense needs some help. I mean, I don't know what we were doing in the offseason, but it definitely wasn't focusing on getting some run stoppers at the linebacker position. Latu is a good pass rusher, but obviously is not helping with this run with the run defense. And obviously the Texans have a good O-line, but it's not that good to where Joe Mixon, 30-year-old Joe Mixon, can run 160 yards. So that's the first thing I noticed. Good job by Joe Mixon, the Texans offensive line. Colts run defense, embarrassing. Number two, I thought C.J. Stroud was pretty good. I thought he was how we expected him to be. He had a few scary throws there. Almost 2 interceptions on the day. Happens to be 0. Just good play by his wide receivers and some overturned calls and everything and penalties on the Colts. So C.J. Stroud, good play. On the other side, Anthony Richardson, I don't know what to think. He has no touch at all, but so many huge play performances, single-handedly kept us in this game, it felt like. But at some points, he made some bad decisions, like letting JT run on read options too much, I think, and stuff like that. But other than that, I thought AR was very fun to watch, and I'm excited for the future. I hope he doesn't get injured. He took a good amount of hits in that game. I'm just very skeptical on what they're going to do about him throwing 100 miles an hour to a 10-yard out route. I don't know how we fix that, but either way, very exciting player, and fantasy football players who have him, or teams, you guys should be excited. Alec Pierce seems like he's going to be a weapon for the Colts in the deep pass options. I mean, 2 massive 50-plus yard pass plays to Alec Pierce. Him coming down with those balls is huge and very underrated on his part, so props to Alec Pierce. In the Texans run defense / Jonathan Taylor just could not get going. We only had 100 yards rushing the entire game. The Texans' run defense is scary with Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, that defensive line and those linebackers. I mean, that's something to watch over there on that end. But yeah, JT just could not get going. The Texans' run defense. The Texans' defense, I mean, that team is scary. The Colts somehow stayed in this game. I don't know how that block punt helped. But I feel like we should have lost by at least 20. And the Texans, they look good. They look very good. I think they'll win the division. But yeah, that was something to take away. JT could not get going whatsoever. 3 other things I want to say here. Pittman was like nowhere to be seen all game. He had like 3 receptions, I think. So that was kind of concerning. And I thought the refs were terrible on both sides of the ball. Absolutely terrible. The confusion at the end of the first half was just like, what are we doing here? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. As a Colts fan, I was excited because the Texans, like, the clock ran out, so they couldn't score. But the lack of communication there. And Anthony Richardson got hit very hard on a helmet-to-helmet tackle going out of bounds, no flag. And then the one sack they had in the first half, they slammed AR's head to the ground. No flag there. I understand, but like the second one, that was a helmet-to-helmet tackle. I mean, you got to call those league-wide. If that was C.J. Stroud, I'd say the same thing. Like, what are we doing? We cannot have that. If you're going to call for other teams and other plays, you got to stay consistent. There's no ands, if, or buts about it. If you want to keep the quarterback safe, then call the penalties. That's my opinion on that. And Shane Steichen, throughout the entire game, was very aggressive, going forward on 4th down on that second or the last drive for the Colts was insane. Somehow it paid off for him. Anthony Richardson took it in himself. But some bold moves by Steichen today ended up paying off sort of. But going for 2 there, if he would have just took the points, I think he should have done that. It would have gave us more momentum than we already had with that block punt. But overall, Texans look very good. Amazing. You guys should not be worried at all. Colts fans, I'm right there with you, so I'm just going to be honest. AR seems like we could either go 0-17 or 17-0. This guy is so volatile. I mean, he could be the greatest quarterback of all time or get injured next week and never play a game in the NFL ever again. I don't know what to think of him. I'm excited every time I watch. I cannot get enough of him. I could watch him for another 4 hours right now. That's how much I like watching him. And the defense for the Colts is just horrendous. I mean, the amount of third downs we let them convert, insane, unbelievable. But then again, props to the Texans for being good there. That's pretty much all I have to say. Some wide receivers for the Colts. Like, A.D. Mitchell should have had 150 yards receiving, but Anthony Richardson missed him so many times. He's so inaccurate. I'm very skeptical on the future of the Colts, but I think Anthony Richardson, if you can just tighten up a lot of loose screws, he could be insanely good. And the Texans, you guys have nothing to worry about. You might be Super Bowl contenders for all I know. I mean, props to the Texans. And I'm excited for this young Colts team, but it was a very nerve-wracking game this entire time. That's my instant reaction. Those are my thoughts. That's my analysis of the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys watching, and make sure to have a great rest of your day. Peace out.